see from these, when I explain these arguments, that they are running on separate int hosts. So let's go ahead and we'll start the server first. It just gives the port number that it's listening on. The clients give a little bit more here. So we have the username, the IP address of the server, the port that the server listens to, then the IP address of this client, which is a different IP address from the server, as you can see, and the left port, query port, and right port. We'll go ahead and run that. And same here, just have Gretchen's username, another distinct IP here, different end host. We have the 204. So we'll go ahead and run that. This one's going to be on the same end host as the server, and these as well. So we have Randy, John, Brad. Go ahead, go through these. Go through these and register them. So I just did those three real quick, but when I send the command of register, it sends register and then the username that's attached to the site client, the IP of the client, and then the acceptance port and the query port. Same with Brad and Gretchen, and all of those received a success response of type register, and the data message is that Austin added to the state table successfully, Brad and Gretchen as well. So now that we have those three on the DHT, let's go ahead, those three in the state table, let's go ahead and set up the DHT 3. So when we send that, a handful of things happen. We send that command to the server, it responds with the success response of type DHT, gives us the DHT info, the leader here, and with that info, the leader sends out the setID command to both Brad and Gretchen with their respective information, and then it iterates through the records in the CSV file and sends them to the correct spot in the DHT. As you can see, that all 241 records were read in, and yeah, so let's go ahead, try to query that DHT. And I forgot to register this user. We get that invalid user given failure. So let's go ahead and register. John's now in the table. Now we can query DHT. Query. I know Aruba is a long name in there. So as you can see, we sent that query DHT from John here. John is a free user, so he's able to query the DHT, and he gets the response back of the, initially from the server, he gets a response with success, with info on a random user in the DHT, random member, random node, and goes ahead and sends that query to the node of Aruba, and which responds back with this record of Aruba. And let's try it again here. This time it's sending it to Brad. Last time it was sending it to Austin. Let's try another one that I know is there. United States of America. And we get that response back with the record for United States of America. Same process went through. Now try again. This time, let's do something I know isn't there, USA, and we get that 404 record not found. So now, I'm going to go ahead and have Gretchen leave the DHT. So we send that leave-dht. As you can see, we received it from the server, leave-dht, and the username to leave. We got in response back a success. Leave response, removing Gretchen from the DHT, which begins the teardown. Teardown was complete, and then resetting now calling the reset ID command. Then the node IDs were successfully changed. Received reset complete. Now rebuilding the DHT. Once done rebuilding the DHT, sends out DHT rebuild, the username that's leaving, and the new leader. And this receives back success. DHT has been successfully rebuilt. So now Gretchen should be a free user that can query the DHT. Let's try Aruba, since I know that should be there. And we do indeed get the record back. Let's do one that shouldn't work. And we get that 404 not found. And let's try one more from this user. I believe it's John. And let's do United States of America. And we do get that record. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this other user going. We got Randy now in the table. And we're going to have Randy join the DHT. So now the DHT is back to 3 users. We have Brad, Austin, and now Randy also in the DHT. When I send that join-dht, we get back a response of success from the server. You can see that join-dht in the username. Within the data in there, it gives the information on the leader, current leader of the DHT, which then Randy uses to iterate through the DHT that's set up, change the node size, so the in value. Once that's complete, it tears down the DHT. And while it's doing this, also it's resetting the IDs as well. So it changes that in value, and also it sets up Randy into the DHT. He just gets added onto the end. So he's the last user, and his next, the next node for Randy is going to be the leader, which is right now Austin. So once that's complete, it tears down the DHT. Once that's complete, it rebuilds the DHT, new DHT. Sends out that DHT rebuilt with the username that's joined in. Once it's rebuilt the DHT, and then it receives back that response of successfully rebuilt the DHT. So now we have those 3 users back in the DHT, so let's try to query it. Get back Aruba. 404 not found for USA. And then let's try one more time here. Query DHT. Go into Randy. Let's say query United States of America. I just realized on this last one, record wasn't found, but it was because we were missing. I forgot to say query, so let me fix that. Do it right here, so we have to say query and then USA, and we get that correct response of 404 not found. Okay, now that we've shown join, remove, and query for each, let's deregister the free users. So deregister, and we get that deregister John. We send the deregister John, to the server, which then sends back success, removed from state table. Then it knows it can terminate the client. So terminate client application gracefully. Let's do the same for Gretchen. And again, we got successful. And now if we try this for a user that's in the DHT, we get a failure. User is not in a free state. So we need to go to the leader, which is Austin right now, and not deregister, tear down the DHT. Alright, so a handful of things happen when we do that. So we send tear down DHT and then the user that's calling it. In this case, it is the leader, so it's a success. Response, it says initiating tear down DHT, which then communicates with the rest of the nodes, lets them know we need to tear down. Once that's complete, it sends teardown complete and the username again that initiated it, which is the leader. And on that send, it gets back success, teardown complete, successfully destroy DHT. So now if we try to query the DHT, we got a query error. There was no DHT created. But now also this means that these 3 users are free, so we can go ahead and deregister them. We get that success, success, success. And then we need to close the client explicitly with keyboard interrupt. And yeah, that is my socket project.